Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Allotment Dram. Been up here all afternoon, another lovely afternoon. Things have really grown after the sort of recent spell of rain and warm weather, as you would expect in late July. But yeah, been a lovely afternoon up here. But of course I am here for the Allotment Dram, and today I've picked quite a special whiskey actually. One of the more expensive ones that I've selected to bring up here and talk about, and it's the Mortlach 20 years old, which is nicknamed, as you'll see on the label, Cowy's Blue Seal. And this refers to George Cowy, who is the founder. So the distillery's been there since 1823. George Cowy was the founder, so this is a little hat tip to him. And the 20-year-old sits at the top of the core range of Mortlach. It's quite a sort of cult Speyside distillery from the town of Dufftown, which, of course, is a very famous town. Has 6 distilleries currently in operation there, 3 of which are owned by Diageo, of which Mortlach is one. You've then got Dufftown itself and Glendullan, and then the other 3 are owned by William Grants. So you have, of course, famously Glenfiddich, Balvenie, and also Kinninvie as well. But it's also been home to a number of distilleries throughout the history, and is really regarded as the sort of heart of Speyside, almost like the heartbeat of Speyside. So yeah, distilleries like Convermore, Pittyvake, the most recent that have been operating but then closed down. But as I said before, Mortlach has a bit of a cult status, and it's nicknamed the Beast of Dufftown. And this is because it has this quite sort of big, heavy style that, of course, sort of separates it from a lot of Speyside whiskies, which are generally on the lighter, maybe more delicate, sort of fruity side. So here's the 20-year-old. It's bottled at, let's have a look, 43.4%. And here we are. You see a lovely golden colour. So quite a lot of sherry cask matured whiskey in there. Also some bourbon cask whiskey as well. So let's have a smell. Yeah, and you can almost feel, it sounds a weird thing to say, but you can almost feel that sort of heaviness that I was talking about before. And this comes from, you'll also see on the label, it says 2.81 distilled. And I've had, obviously most Scotch whisky is double distilled. You then have some which are triple distilled, and particularly Irish whisky triple distilled. But this sits at 2.81, and I've had various people from Diageo or other sort of whisky experts and so on try to explain it to me, but I still can't quite work out, if I'm perfectly honest, how they get to 2.81. It essentially gets distilled twice and then goes through another still which is called Wee Witchy, but not for a full distillation. So, as I say, I've never quite got it straight in my head, but that doesn't stop it being 2.81 distilled. Anyway, here we are. So let's have a taste now. Yeah, so you have, immediately you can feel it has this sort of heavy, quite oily feel in the mouth, quite savoury actually. So quite unusual for a Speyside whisky, this sort of heaviness. But then there's this lovely sort of apple, like a stewed apple. Then you've got some like golden syrup, some honey in there as well. And then some also mingling with some sort of toffee or caramel, a bit of dried fruit in there as well. Yeah, it tastes absolutely delicious. But that heaviness really is the thing that makes Mortlach stand out to me more than anything. It comes through on all the Mortlachs that we've tried. So let's have another taste. Yeah, it's right there. So even as your mouth gets used to it, it still has this very gripping quality, quite savoury. It's initially quite sweet, but then you have, as I say, with this sort of toffee, caramel, dried fruits, bit of honey and golden syrup. But then there's a savoury note in it, and it's quite like these dusty spices, baking spices, I always call them. There's a bit of earthiness there as well. Maybe even a bit of gingerbread or something like that. Or yeah, there's something else, quite leafy, almost like tobacco or something like that. So yeah, big, bold, sort of full-on whiskey. Not for the faint-hearted, So, and if you do want to have a go, I mean, it's around £200 most places. Well worth a try. Lovely flavoursome whiskey. So that's pretty much it for today from me and the Beast of Dufftown. Till next time, take care and thanks for watching. Cheers.